All right, what's going on, everybody? Hope all is as well as it can possibly be with everyone out there. You know, I want to start this video off with something completely different. I don't usually say stuff like this, but I have to say something to the younger generation that are in their late teens and in their 20s and early 30s. You know, I just walked by right up this hill. There is a brick wall that is falling apart. It's on the sidewalk and it's on the road. And it has been like that for a very, very long time now. A really long time. Now, I know what people are thinking. It's what I'm thinking. Well, then why don't you clean it up? Why don't you pick it up? Why don't you fix it or do something with it? And that is true. That is true. But here's what I'm going for to say with this. I just don't understand this. The younger generation of people, you have your health, you have your minds, you can do things, you can create things, you know, you can do some things that a lot of people that wish they could do certain things can't do. And that just reminds me of, like, there's no vision in the world anymore. Like, what has happened to any kind of vision for anything? And really, that is the township's responsibility to clean that up. And I know that they drove by that many times and seen that like that. It's not my property. If it was my property, yes, I would have cleaned it up. But, you know, I'm not making excuses here. Lately, I've been having some health issues, some pretty bad health issues. And I just, now that I'm having these things go on, you realize how you can take things for granted really easy in this life. And I don't mean to sound like a motivational speaker. I don't mean to sound any kind of way, but I just ask myself, like, this, I gotta say this to the younger generation, like, y'all need a vision, man. We need a vision in this life. We need something to literally think of as our God, kind of, or something to serve, something to sacrifice our lives for. And I can't tell people what that is. I can't sit here and tell you what that is or what that isn't, because I have my own visions. But, like, I don't know, man, I just walked by that, and that's just a reflection of our world, how nobody really gives a shit about anything. And I'm like, dude, if I was healthy like y'all, if I had my full health, and I remember when I used to go to sleep, and when I was a teenager, I used to sleep and I would wake up, and you know how you had to get up to go to school, and you would be in your bed and you'd be so comfortable. You'd have like that warm feeling because you'd be sleeping. I don't even know what that feeling is anymore. I haven't felt that for 20 some years of my life. I haven't felt that. You know, and I don't know what's been going on with me physically or whatever. I don't really know. But, like, I would give anything to have that again, to wake up and just have that warm sensation and feel healthy and rejuvenated. And look, a lot of us today, we don't have no vision for nothing. That's the thing. It's a mental thing. It's a spiritual, psychological thing going on. Most of y'all are not. There's nothing wrong with y'all physically, man. Y'all are young ass dudes, young ass women. And I hear so many people complaining about everything. It's like, isn't there something that y'all love? Isn't there something that you like? Isn't there something that you have some kind of passion, or you say, damn, I would really like to see the world be like this. I would really like to see the people in my life to have this, or I would like to see this happen, or I want to work on this thing to get this, or, I mean, doesn't anybody have those things anymore? I don't understand it. I do not understand it. And the reason that I'm doing this, I don't want to seem like a hypocrite. I don't want to seem like some overbearing parental figure that is trying to motivate you, because I'm none of those things at all. I'm not that kind of guy. I just want to see people in their glory. I want to see people in their glory, even in the days where we might say, oh man, this, everything sucks. Why am I here? What am I doing, or whatever? Like, I am always after glory. I'm always after to witness something glorious, and even in the pessimism of life, I still find glory in that. I still see glory even in the bad shit. And I know it ain't no excuse to justify anything like that, but that's just how I personally think. And the reason why I'm doing this video right now is because I'm gonna be brutally honest with everybody. I have not been talking about this, but there is something. I did a video just the other day, but there is something going on in my body, and I don't want to say this. I don't want to believe it. I don't want to start telling myself this. I gotta go to the doctors. I gotta go get checked out. But I really do think that I have cancer, or something growing in my body. Something's not right. Something is doing something to my body that I can't control. But I'm getting on a very strict diet starting tonight. Tonight, I ate the last thing that I'm not eating no more. I'm getting back on my old diet, and I'm getting back to looking into ways so that if there is something going on, that the shit doesn't spread or do whatever it's doing, because I know my body. And even though I fell a while ago, this been going on for a very long time, a really long time. See, I had gotten a treatment a long time ago when I was in my drug addiction. A lot of people end up getting Hep C, and I did have that, but I got rid of it. I took medication to get rid of it. So I got it cured, but at the same time, I remember when I took this medication, weeks later, I started to get some really strange, like tingling, pulling, stretching sensation where my liver is. I remember having this feeling from my liver to like the bottom of my shoulder blades, where there was this like aching, a little bit sharp, heavy feeling. And I just thought that I was cramping up because I would stand up and I'd be on my drum machine, my MPC-1, and I'd be making beats, and I would get this feeling, and I was like, damn, like, what is this? Did I eat something wrong? Am I cramping up? Is it just my liver healing from all that time of having some kind of disease in my body? That's what I thought. But as the years progressed, this feeling where my liver is and in my abdominal area, that it goes from there into my back, into my lower back, and by my shoulder blades, and where the bottom right part of my rib cage is, where my liver is, like right here, and it's right now as I'm walking, I'm feeling it. It's like a jabbing feeling. It's like a pressurized jabbing feeling, and it's going into my back area, and it's affecting my lower back. That's what I think is going on. I think that something has, spread around, because it actually started off when I was doing videos years ago. If anyone's been on my channel for this long, when I was doing videos, it started around 2020, 2021, somewhere around there. But when I was doing night walks, I was getting a pain like in between my shoulder blades and around my neck area, like the very bottom part where my shoulder blades and my neck meet. I was getting this just aching, jabbing, sharp feeling, and it was, at that time, my liver wasn't, it was only when I was like making beats, or I was doing something where I was standing up and like combing my hair or doing something like that. But over time, it progressively, I kept having these weird, different symptoms in my body. And then about 2 years ago, from this, like exactly 2 years ago almost, I started getting this weird feeling in my lower back area, like where your where your bladder and stuff is, your bladder and your rectum or whatever, in that area, like, from your lower back in between there somewhere, I was getting this really weird, strange feeling where I couldn't sit still, and it was just like a nightmare. I was getting these attacks where I would just feel really sick, and I would just get these really bad headaches, and I knew something was going on. I knew something was wrong for a long time. And see, I went to the doctors, and they did do some tests on my liver and my pancreas and stuff, but they just said that I had a fatty liver. So, that's not really telling me much, but, it's just, I know not too many people are probably gonna watch this, but, maybe my suffering and my story can help somebody else. I don't know. That's what I would like to think, but I don't really know. I don't know the destiny of life and what will happen with anything, but maybe my suffering can help someone out there to get through their days. I just don't want this to be for absolutely nothing. You know what I mean? I don't want to feel like I'm making a video for nothing at all. And, even though, like I said, I fell, I don't really think it's that, because even in between where my groin area is. It feels really full. It feels full and tight. It feels like there's something that is just, like there's something that is blocking something, or it's a fullness feeling. It's a feeling of, like I said, like somebody tore open my back and poured something in it. And that is in my abdominal area where my liver is, my back, and my in between my groin is not bad. But when I go to close my legs together, they just don't, it just feels like there's pressure, like there's something squeezing and full. And, I'm doing what I can do, but I have to admit that I am scared because, nobody wants to die, but these next, if I'm even alive the next couple months or couple years, I really have to get all this stuff checked out, and it's not something that I want to do, if I'm being honest. I really don't want to do any of this, but it's the time. I have to find out what is going on at least, but I don't know. Then again, that kind of scares me even more, because then if I know something is wrong, then I'm going to be telling myself all the time that something's wrong. And for real, I don't know. I don't know if I would rather know or not know, to be truthfully honest. A part of me wants to know, and a part of me doesn't want to know. But yeah, there's something else that I did want to talk about, but I don't know. I've been keeping this to myself for a really long time, but I can't hide it anymore, because it's just like anything in your mind or your life. If you hold on to shit and you keep it in and you hold it in, that becomes kind of like cancer too. So I don't want to hold in how I feel. I don't want to keep this shit just to myself anymore. Word is already out anyway, so, I can't be ashamed of genetics or something that I don't have control over. But a lot of this is my fault, though. I have not been eating properly. I have not been exercising. But I'm in a situation where, I don't want to get into it too much, but I'm in a situation where I'm kind of looking after somebody, and I don't really go anywhere because I'm looking after them. I'm kind of sacrificing my time and my life, to be there with a person. And I don't want to sit here and complain about it or have people pity my situation, but, that doesn't help either. And, it's just, I've been getting in a lot of arguments, and it just hasn't been a really good time, because I'm not really balancing shit out too much. Even though I got things that I want to do, I do have things that I want to do. Now I have things that I really do want to do, because I know now that this stuff is going on. And, the last couple months, this has gotten worse. It has just gotten worse. So I don't know. I might not even be here for too much longer. If you don't hear from me for a while, then more than likely I'm not here anymore, if something would happen. I don't want to think like that, but I don't like talking about death and dying, but, and another thing is, I have been having trouble breathing pretty bad for a really long time too. I've always had respiratory issues, but this is different. This is like a different kind of breathing. Like sometimes, even though I'm walking and I'm breathing okay, when I'm sitting around, it's weird. It's like when I'm sitting around, I have more trouble, it seems, breathing. I don't know if I'm just panicking or what the hell is going on. But, you know, it all has to do with whatever is going on in my body. There's shit going on, I know, without a doubt, because I know my body as I'm walking right now. It just literally feels like there is like 20 extra pounds of something that should not be in my abdominal region, my back, and my groin area. Like, not my groin per se, like up under there. If you're a male and you have a prostate, you would know what I mean. Picture your prostate feeling full, like there's just something in it or whatever. But I don't have problems urinating. I don't have problems with urination. I don't bleed. You know, I don't have anything like that going on. But, and who knows, maybe when I was at a job where I was lifting pretty heavy stuff and I could have accidentally got a hernia, I don't know. And when I fell, I could have just twisted my body up so bad that it's affecting these areas. But I know that this is not from that fall. Certain things like this feeling in my abdominal area where my liver is, into the like lower part of my shoulders, that has been going on for about 5 years. So that has nothing to do with my back, because it's like in between the middle of my back to my abdominal area. Because I remember going to a chiropractor, and you know them things that they use, them like machines that vibrate real hard, like they stretch your back before they do whatever. It's like a thing that just shakes back and forth and it vibrates. Well, I remember him putting that on my back, and I could just feel something when he was shaking my back. I could feel this aching, this like fullness, it was kind of like a slight pinching or achiness, like a pinching, full achiness feeling. And I just knew something wasn't right. And then I got this, I know this sounds crazy. I know it sounds like a lot of stuff, but then I got this cellulitis in my left leg out of nowhere. I just got it out of nowhere. And then another thing that I had happen from like 2019, 2020, my legs were itching really bad, like real bad. And I would itch them and scratch them, and my capillaries would burst. And my legs were literally seeping blood. Like blood would start just draining like out of my leg. Like it would just like leak. And it was like these tiny holes in my legs. And I'm like, yo, this is so not normal. Like there's something not right here. And I don't know. I could have been having a fungal infection or something, but it did stop. But my legs, you know, they have this like slight red color to them at the bottom, and that never went away. And I don't know if it ever will go away. It doesn't look too bad though. You know, it doesn't look bad. But the thing is, all these things are just a signal that there's something that is going on. Like I never had all this shit happen before. And over the last 5 years or so, I've had very bizarre, strange symptoms of having these really, really bad migraines and having this, just getting really sick. like really sick, like I've been poisoned by something, like somebody poisoned my food or something. And I was just like, why am I so sick like this? And I'd have like these attacks where I would start shaking profusely, like I couldn't stop my whole body, like I would go into like a seizure or something. And I'm like, dude, this is really bizarre and strange. And you know, as I'm holding this phone and doing this video, it just feels like I have cement or some kind of, it feels like there's like some kind of hard rubberized solution in my back and my body as I'm walking. Like it just doesn't feel right. You know, it's not like I'm just like a normal person would walk and you don't feel nothing, you're just walking. Well, as I'm walking here, it feels like I'm carrying like 20, 30 pounds of something foreign in my body. But the thing is though, I don't look bad. I don't look like I'm sick. I don't sound like I'm sick. My body doesn't really look that bad. There isn't really nothing that is, I'm not getting them rashes anymore. My legs look a little whatever from the cellulitis and other shit. But, you know, I don't know. Maybe your back being out of place can cause a lot of other problems. I don't know, man. I really don't think though that it's from that, but so yeah, man, I don't really want to talk about this, but you know, I don't have nowhere to go to talk about this stuff. All I have is this, to come out here, take a walk, do my thing, and just do it. That's all I can do is just do it now. And I have been feeling, I don't usually use the word motivation, but I've actually been feeling more motivated now to walk more and to get my health really good now. Because now I'm not taking it for granted anymore. Now it's the real deal Holyfield. You know, there's no more fucking around. I just can't. I can't afford to have bad habits in my life. Even though I don't smoke. I quit smoking 10 years ago. I don't drink. Once in a blue moon, I would drink liquor and stuff. Once in a blue moon. And you know, I used to be a hard drug addict. I used to be doing everything. That didn't help either. You know, my lifestyle that I was living, but you know, I was a hardcore drug addict. I was drinking, doing dope, taking Xanax, benzodiazepines at one time. I was all screwed up, really bad. So this ain't nothing new. I know what pain is, and I know what suffering is. I know what it is to be in mental, psychological, physical, spiritual. I know it all. I know what it is to feel like you're gonna die. I know what it is to feel like you're literally in your own hell in your mind. I know all those things because I've experienced it. So this is why this isn't too surprising to me. I'm not so shocked by this, but at the same time, I got to admit that I am scared. I don't want to die. I don't like thinking about death, but you know, I don't know if it comes sooner than later. I got to die sometime, but I don't want to die yet. You know, I don't want to move on yet. There's still things here that I want to do, but I don't know. And the thing that's really frustrating me is I want to start working. I want to start doing what it is that I know that I want to do. Like, I want to do something now, but my back and shit is just, really, I mean, I could go and do something right now, but it would just be me suffering. It'd be kind of agonizing. It would be, I'd be feeling this all day, and it's like, doing that, it's just not. See, look, there's a bench right here. I was just about to sit down. I said, nope, don't sit down. Because you sit down, that ain't gonna help nothing. I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm not a guy that's really into motivation. I'm not really into acting optimistic, but I have to be, I gotta be optimistic. Even though I'm a big time pessimist with a lot of things, and I see the hypocrisies and I see the contradictions and I see the black and the white of life, I see it all. It's just, my hypocrisy is a necessary hypocrisy. When I do what I do, it's necessary. When I gotta survive, I gotta survive. When I gotta hold the fort down, I gotta hold the fort down. When I gotta say something that I really need to say, I gotta say it, even though I don't want to. I'm somebody that if I could just keep everything to myself and I just had a couple really down-to-earth, loyal ass motherfuckers in my life, and I had like true support, I wouldn't even be out here in the world really doing much, even though I do want to do things. That's just how I am. Like, I want it to be frugal. I like being a minimalist. I like keeping things tight, in order, small. I don't want to make anything bigger than what it has to be. But there's still, I'm not going to say everything about myself in this video, but there is still things that I want to do that I have not done yet. Like, if anyone comes to this platform, I haven't even done not 85, 90% of stuff that I still want to do. I haven't even really begun to do what I know that I'm capable of as an artist, as a musician, as a creative person, as a spiritualist, as a visionary, as an existentialist. Like, I'm so many different things. I'm not just one thing. And as bad as I want to talk more about this stuff, I don't really want to spill the beans on myself, so to speak. I don't want to just say everything, because then it kind of loses its value. People lose interest. It just really ain't like that anymore. Now, this is something, if you got this far, this is something that I do want to talk about. See, I'm someone, I don't believe that when a man and a woman, if they are in a relationship of some kind, whether it be them helping each other, whether it be sexual, whether it be just because they have chemistry or they really do care for each other. I don't think that people should be around each other every day, all the time, or every day. I don't believe in that. I think that there has to be boundaries. I believe that if you find your muse in life, I believe that y'all should separate yourselves time to time more often than what people usually do. I think that, if you see each other once a week or twice a week or once every 2 weeks or whatever. I think that there should be, I don't think you should live together, and I do not think that you should see each other every day. I don't believe in that because it becomes too repetitious. It becomes stale. It becomes, the fire burns out, so to speak. There's nothing new. There's nothing exciting. There's no newness to it, you know? Like, you got to give each other time to build up thoughts or say, I wonder what they've been up to, you know? And that's what I wanted to talk about. I don't know if I'm going to talk about that in this video because I don't have too much time, but yeah, I do really think that I would be a good coach for people. I don't want to say coach, but I really think that if there was a man and a woman that were together and they were either having problems or they needed someone to say, well, look, what do you think that we should do to keep this thing going or to keep it somewhat exciting or interesting? The first thing I would tell them is, you have got to live in different places. If you sleep together for a night or 2 nights out of the week or whatever, that's fine. But I would say you've got to get your own places. You've got to live apart. Or if you do live in the same place, I would say, now I know people are probably saying, you know, who are you to say these things? You know, you're not some dating guy or relationship guy or whatever. And no, I'm not. I don't ever label myself as anything. I just keep it real with people. You know, there is no book on how to do any of this stuff. And I'm not a book. I'm not a recipe. I'm an honest guy. I say it how I see it, and I really think that my way is the best way for people. I do believe that. I really do. And I would tell them, if you do live together, live in different rooms, and if you have jobs or you have something you do not have a schedule where when one person is at home, the other one is working, or the woman is doing fashion designing or art or something else. And when she's at home, the man is out working or doing something. You see, you do not want to be together all the time. You are going to eventually, you are going to get on each other's nerves. You are gonna maybe start resenting them. It's just not gonna turn into a good thing. Mark my words, please. I have seen everybody that I have ever known in my life. I have seen this happen. And I even told them, I said, listen, why don't? And they actually did do this when I told them. And when they seen each other again, they were glad to see each other. They were like, I missed you and I was thinking about you. I even told them, I said, listen, I told my one friend, Mike, I said, listen, why don't y'all make a commitment, set boundaries, and say, listen, let's just not talk for days or a week or 2 weeks. Let's just not talk. Let's stay away from each other. Let the air clear. It's too foggy. It's like being in a car with 2 people. If you're in a car in this weather with 2 people, the car is going to fog up. It's going to get musty. It's going to get thick. You're going to smell each other's breath. It ain't going to be cool. Now, if one person gets out of the car, that fog is going to go away. I know this is like a corny cliche, but it's something so simple. It's the simplicity of things. But why do we force ourselves as people to be around each other all day, every day? Why do we feel the need that we have to see each other, or we have to talk about something, or we have to socialize, or whatever, every day? What is the point of that? It's overkill. It's too much for any person on this planet. And this is why everybody that I have known, not every single person, but damn near every single person in my family and people that I have known, anybody that has ever gotten married and they lived together, it did not work. They ended up arguing. They started resenting each other. They were angry at each other because they did not give each other space. They did not have the common sense, just the common sense decency to say, listen, honey, let me get a place. Let's just stay away from each other for a little bit. See, I don't do things how other people do things. I would have never done the things that most people have done in this life, in their earlier ages, and in being with or whatever they're doing with someone, whether it's a sexual relationship, whether it's a friendly relationship, whether it's a committed relationship, whether it's friend with benefits. It doesn't matter what it is. There has got to be boundaries. And it's like with me, I ain't gonna lie. I'm into how the Muslim faith says you can have up to 4 wives. I am somebody that I believe in polygamy. I believe in polyamory myself. If I could have multiple women, I would. Now, society would call me a hoe, a slut, an adulteress. They would say that, oh, you're just the guy that likes sleeping around with everybody. And yes, I do like having different varieties of stuff. I do like many women. That's just how I always been. It doesn't mean that I'm a slut or a whore or I'm a sinner or an adulteress. I just believe that a man should have more than one woman in his life. But I think a man should at least have one woman that is his ride or die. Like, he should at least have one woman that will sacrifice everything for him, that will truly be there when he needs her to be. A woman that is dedicated to him, that truly does care for him and is a kind of soul mate to him. Yes, I do believe that as a person. But you know, if that would happen, okay, it would happen. I'm not going to force it or say that it will happen. I'm just saying, I really love when women are submissive together as a group. And I love when they love each other and they comb each other's hair and they wear good, decent outfits and clothes, and they do their hair and they wear dresses and, you know, just stuff like that. I love that kind of shit. I love to see women that get along and treat each other like they are some kind of saintly nun, but they also have this like sacred naughty side too. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I don't do things like other people do. I'm weird. But see, the thing is though, I'm not out here looking for it. I'm not out here chasing it. You know, I'm not out here forcing things to happen. Because I did that in my life one time, and it doesn't work that way. You know, there's either gonna be chemistry, there's either gonna be a woman that really, truly loves me for who I am and appreciates me for who I am and understands my boundaries and understands that when I say no, I mean no. When I say yes, I mean yes. When I say whatever it is I'm saying, she doesn't question me, because my intentions are always